It's only been 11 days since former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci was fired. What a simpler time. This week, President Donald Trump inched the doomsday clock closer to midnight with his repeated warnings to North Korea. A federal report provided startling evidence of climate change. Google engineer James Damore was fired after penning a controversial memo about women in tech. And HuffPost spoke with retired Marine Amy McGrath about her decision to run for Congress. We asked you to use HuffPost's chatbot on Messenger, which features top headlines curated by editor-in-chief Lydia Paul-Green, to let us know what you think about these stories. Here's what readers had to say. Nicholas Camp via Getty Images. President Donald Trump looks on before a meeting with administration officials on the opioid addiction crisis at the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, on August 8. Trump has already drawn a clear line with North Korea. We in the United States now have to honor the strict line when it is drawn. I personally think the conflict with North Korea is going to be inevitable. The problem is South Korea and the Americans stationed there. I would like to hear the angles if North Korea attacks Guam or anything protected by the US. What our retaliation or strike responses would be. Brian Donaldson. I feel Trump doesn't care about anything except making himself look good. He thinks strong, powerful. I have no respect for this man that talks without even thinking about the consequences. I love my country and the only thing he loves is himself. Remark. Drew Angara via Getty Images. Birds walk on the shoreline as an iceberg floats in Flat Rock Cove. The higher number of icebergs this season can be attributed to uncommonly strong counterclockwise winds that draw the icebergs south and possibly global warming, which could be making Greenland's ice sheet melt faster. This is frightening stuff. I'm still upset Trump pulled out of the Paris Agreement. However, it is encouraging that politicians at the state and local level and corporations and companies will not let his thoughtless decision impact them. They will continue to go about what they were doing to be environmentally aware and be responsible stewards of this earth. It impacts every human on this planet. Cindy Salisbury-Kerner. It won't impact me because I will die in the next 10 years or so. But it might impact my kids. We need to find a way to make the administration care about the future. Judy Wilson. Amy McGrath for Congress. Retired Marine Amy McGrath announced her candidacy to become the first woman to ever represent Kentucky's 6th Congressional District. She isn't in my district, but I wish her the best. Kentucky has one of the biggest wage gaps I've ever seen. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. I live in one of the poorest counties in Kentucky. You're either on government assistance or you are rich. The only jobs people can get are Dollar General, a couple gas stations and fast food, all jobs that pay minimum wage. The drug problem here is one of the worst. Abuse of children and the elderly abounds. The mental health care here is the worst I've ever encountered. We need help here. If this woman cares about Kentucky, she will try to help Eastern Kentucky as well. Sunday. Costa Christoph Morinap 3 via Getty Images. Former Google engineer James Damore argued in an internal memo that biological differences are to blame for gender inequality in tech. Totally agree. Women by nature are born multitaskers. One example is the mother who has to wear many roles in the family, simultaneously. Prime example of the single mom. Love it. Marilyn Dixon Hill. Why is the response from the left so predictable when an individual expresses an opinion which they disagree with? Are they so fragile in their beliefs that their world cannot weather the slightest scrutiny? We see this on campuses. We see this in the media. This is not about women's versus men's brains. It's way bigger than that. It's about intolerance of any opinion save your own. Steve Pendleton. The above quotes have been lightly edited and condensed for clarity. If you'd like to weigh in on the latest news, chat us on Messenger. Download. Do you have information you want to share with HuffPost? Here's how. Abigail Williams, Associate Editor, News Emerging Platforms, HuffPost.